The gavel's truth. Judge Marcus Wellington adjusted his black robes as he entered courtroom 317 of the Westridge County Courthouse. The packed gallery fell silent. Reporters clutched notepads. Community activists and police supporters sat on opposite sides, creating an invisible divide down the center aisle. "All rise," announced the bailiff, Jason Parker, Wellington, 58, with salt and pepper hair and eyes that carried the weight of 30 years on the bench, nodded to the jury. This wasn't just another case. Officer Ray Denton stood accused of beating Terrell Jackson, an unarmed college student, during a traffic stop. The dashcam footage had sparked protests across the city. "Be seated," Wellington said, his voice calm yet authoritative. He scanned the room, noting the tension. The prosecution team sat ready. Defense attorney Sandra Mills whispered to her client, who stared straight ahead, jaw clenched. "The court recognizes the gravity of these proceedings," Wellington stated. "Justice requires truth, regardless of badge or background. Let's begin." District Attorney Victor Reeves approached the podium. "The evidence will show that Officer Denton's attack on Terrell Jackson wasn't an isolated incident, but part of a disturbing pattern." Reeves displayed a chart on the courtroom screen. 8 complaints over 7 years. 6 filed by black motorists. All dismissed. Officer Denton stopped black drivers at 4 times the rate of his precinct colleagues, Reeves continued, his voice rising slightly. His body cam mysteriously malfunctioned during these encounters. Wellington noticed Denton's right eye twitch. The officer, 42, with a military buzz cut and muscular build, leaned toward his attorney. His service record flashed across the screen. Commendations alongside excessive force allegations. 2 years ago, Officer Denton broke Kevin Washington's arm during an arrest for a broken taillight. Charges dropped. Last summer, he pepper-sprayed Darnell Thomas for resisting while Thomas was handcuffed. No consequences. Murmurs rippled through the gallery. Wellington tapped his gavel once. The morning testimony had been damning. Medical experts confirmed Terrell's injuries couldn't have resulted from resisting arrest, as Denton claimed. Wellington called a recess, but as jurors filed out, Denton remained seated, eyes locked on the judge. "Officer Denton, you're dismissed for lunch," Wellington said. Denton stood slowly. "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" Another black man trying to tear down the system. The courtroom froze. Defense attorney Mills grabbed Denton's arm. "Ray, stop," she hissed. "Counselor, control your client," Wellington warned, voice steady despite the shock rippling through him. Denton shook off Mills's hand. "You people always stick together. This trial was rigged from the start." "Officer Denton, I'm holding you in contempt," Wellington declared, signaling to Bailiff Parker. "Like hell you are," Denton snarled, stepping toward the bench. "I've served this city for 20 years while you sat in your cushy office. You don't know what it's like out there." Wellington remained composed. "Step back now." "Or what? You'll call your friends to protest? Burn down more businesses?" Denton's face reddened. "I know where you live, Wellington. Nice house in Hillcrest. Grandkids visit on Sundays." The threat hung in the air like smoke. The courtroom erupted in gasps as Denton's hand moved to his ankle holster, a backup weapon courthouse security had missed. In one fluid motion, he drew a compact 9mm pistol. "Everyone down!" Wellington shouted, but remained standing behind the bench. Bailiff Parker drew his weapon. "Drop it, Denton. Now!" 4 court officers converged, guns trained on the rogue cop. Spectators dove under benches. A reporter knocked over a water pitcher, the crash punctuating the chaos. "You don't understand," Denton said, voice eerily calm as he pointed the gun at Wellington. "Some people don't deserve to judge others." Wellington's heart hammered against his ribs, but his expression remained resolute. "Raymond Denton, you're proving exactly why you're on trial today." "Shut up." Denton screamed, finger tightening on the trigger. Officer Tanya Rodriguez, positioned near the jury box, moved forward. "Ray, think about your family. Your kids need their father." Denton's hand trembled. Wellington noticed tears forming in the man's eyes, not rage but fear. Fear of consequences finally catching up. 20 years on the force, Denton whispered, and this is how it ends? It doesn't have to, Wellington replied. Put down the gun. Let justice take its course. The moment balanced on a knife's edge, the courtroom door creaked open. Everyone turned to see Police Chief Lawrence Bryant enter, his expression grave. Ray, don't do this, Bryant said firmly. This isn't who we are. Denton's hand wavered. In that split second of hesitation, Rodriguez lunged forward, tackling him. The gun clattered across the floor as 3 officers pinned Denton down. Handcuffs clicked shut. Get him out, Wellington ordered, his composure finally cracking. He leaned on the bench, steadying himself. As officers dragged Denton away, Bryant approached the bench. Your Honor, I request to testify. When court reconvened, Bryant took the stand. His testimony stunned everyone. For years, I ignored complaints against Denton, Bryant admitted. I buried reports. Protected him. Today's actions forced me to confront my own complicity. Bryant revealed internal memos documenting the department's awareness of Denton's racial targeting. He produced a text message from his phone, sent by Denton the previous night, if Wellington rules against me, he'll regret it. I enabled a culture that protected bad officers, Bryant concluded, voice breaking. Terrell Jackson deserved better. Our community deserved better. Defense Attorney Mills slumped in her chair. D.A. Reeves sat speechless. The evidence that might have remained hidden was now in plain sight, Wellington nodded solemnly. Truth has a way of finding the light. 3 weeks later, Judge Wellington delivered the verdict. Denton was sentenced to 15 years for police brutality, attempted murder, and witness intimidation. On the courthouse steps, Wellington met with Terrell Jackson and his family. Cameras flashed as they embraced. This isn't the end, Wellington announced to the gathered crowd. It's a beginning. The city established an independent police oversight committee. Bryant resigned but worked with community leaders on reform. Officer Rodriguez was promoted to lead a new training program. That evening, Wellington visited his grandchildren, grateful for second chances and the slow, deliberate march of justice. Sometimes healing started with one truth, one verdict, one step forward.